hundreds of millions of dollars in sales for his clients with a different source of traffic that we've talked about yet so far. And it's amazing what he's done. He's done it for himself. He's done it for clients. He recently just released a new amazing book. Okay, and so I'd like to welcome the one and only Aleric to the stage. Please, let's go in a large round of applause.
Thank you. Excellent. All right, I am excited to show you how you can use the power of YouTube ads to get more leads and clients for your business. You heard a lot of incredible presentations today and yesterday talking about, of course, the value of webinars and also a variety of different platforms as well. And here, I want to share a different platform that you can use, maybe a platform you're not already using. Who here is using who here is using Facebook ads? All right, there's a lot of people. Now, who here is using YouTube ads? Not as many people. So there's a big opportunity for those of you that are not leveraging YouTube ads to dive into YouTube ads. And I want to talk with you today about how this platform can get you more highly qualified, high intent users. So YouTube ads, you're probably familiar, the ads that pop up in front of other videos on YouTube. You're watching a video, then all of a sudden you get an ad that looks like this. Now, there's a really powerful piece to YouTube ads in that people have to watch the first few seconds. Think about this. YouTube is a video-based platform. What's a webinar other than a longer form video? So where's a great place to get people who are interested in your webinars, people who are already looking to learn on YouTube? The top learning platforms. They're already going on YouTube. They're looking to learn whatever it is that you teach, whatever service, product, coaching, consulting that you provide, they are on YouTube looking for you, and you can reach them at the perfect time. Now, what some people don't know is there's different types of YouTube ads. And I'm actually going to be breaking down how you can target the right people, how to craft winning ads. We're going to cover all of that. But there's a couple different types of YouTube ads. There are in-stream ads. These are ads that appear in front of other videos on YouTube. This is where the ad pops up right before the video you're about to watch. It's a great opportunity to capture people's attention at the perfect time. But there's also in-feed ads. Now, in-feed ads are a little bit different. And you may not be as familiar with these. These are ads that appear in search results. So somebody's searching for a video, your ad can pop up. And by the way, this video can be a longer form video that already exists on your channel. It doesn't have to be a 2 to 3 minute in-stream ad. This could be a longer video that warms up and nurtures your ideal audience. This also can pop up alongside other videos as well. So if you've ever been on YouTube and you're watching a video and you've got some of those suggested videos on the side, well, some of those are ads. And imagine being able to target your videos and your ads alongside, whether it be competitors or other videos in the niche, whatever people happen to be watching, you know that you have an opportunity to reach those ideal clients. Now, there's YouTube short ads. More and more people are watching YouTube Shorts, so you have an opportunity to get in front of people as they're scrolling with an ad that appeals to them. Now, there's even ads that are appearing on Discover and Gmail, so other platforms on YouTube. Now, the interesting thing is they've combined all of this together into something called Demand Gen. Demand Gen combines YouTube in-feed ads, YouTube in-stream ads, the YouTube Shorts, Discover, and those Gmail ads all into one campaign designed to do one thing: generate demand, hence the name Demand Gen. And that's, of course, what we want. We want people who are interested in what we do and more people to come to our webinars and ultimately convert those YouTube ads into clients. That is the key. But here's the thing. YouTube has evolved. Google has injected AI into their advertising platform. I'll actually set the stage here. I have a top performing ad, and I'm out in Austin, Texas, and I'm sitting in the back of a Waymo for the first time. True story. I get in the Waymo, and I'm like, all right, this is the first time I'm driving one. I didn't know at that time that there might be some people in the Philippines doing some stuff behind the scenes, like we learned earlier. But anyways, so I'm in the back of the car, and I pick up my phone, and I think of an ad. I think about ads, like this is just sometimes how I think. And I pick up my phone and I record this ad. What does this self-driving car have to do with YouTube ads? They're both powered by Google's AI, and maybe VA, so I didn't know that at that time. But anyway, they're both powered by Google's AI. And so if Google can create an AI that can drive a car by itself, then do you think that they could also create an AI that helps you reach more of your ideal audience using YouTube advertising? Well, of course, that's an easier task. And so that ad was a really top performer for us, but that just shows sometimes you can think of ads on the fly just like that, but it also proves the point of how powerful Google's AI is if you know how to utilize it. You have so much at your disposal. They are capturing millions and millions of data points on every single user, and we can take advantage of that and target the right people at the perfect time because Google's injected this AI into YouTube ads. And today I'm going to be showing you how to take advantage of that and why artificial intelligence has unlocked a whole new paradigm for YouTube and YouTube ads. I see this as one of the biggest opportunities you have, especially in this room. You are all running webinars. You're already creating videos. So why not reach people at the perfect time on the platform that's the #1 platform online for video? YouTube. And so that's the key. And so I want to show you how you can be on the cutting edge of AI advertising, the cutting edge of YouTube ads, avoid getting left behind. Although I will say, if you are in this room right now, you are already in the right place to avoid getting left behind. And so you're already learning these great strategies. I want to give you one more, how to leverage AI and what we call our Alpha AI YouTube ad strategy. And that's not just a name I picked out of a hat. I'm going to share why it truly is an Alpha AI strategy and how you can make your YouTube ads stand out from the crowd and ultimately achieve your goals. And I want this to be one of the most valuable presentations that you see. And I know it might sound complicated, but I promise to make it simple. That's my promise to you. And as was mentioned earlier, we've helped generate hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue with YouTube ads. And we, of course, not just use this with clients, we also use this in our own business as well. So we get calls coming in every single day from people who saw our YouTube ads and then booked a call to speak with our team, stacking up our calendars. And of course, we've applied this to thousands of other businesses, many of which you may recognize up here on the screen. And we've used this strategy to scale to number 60 on the Inc. 5000 list, the fastest growing companies in America. We were on the list 3 years in a row. And with 6,052% growth, oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. And so just a quick little bit about how I got into the world of YouTube ads, I think is really valuable to kind of understand because I didn't, kind of just overnight become a YouTube ads expert. This is actually 16 years in the making. So I'm out in Austin, Texas, but originally I grew up in Massachusetts and I was out in my college dorm room creating YouTube videos. I started on YouTube 16 years ago, back in 2009. I was doing it in high school and college in the early days. And this is my dorm room. You can see I got my beds over here. I've got the desk here. I'm filming videos, teaching people how to use their iPhone for the first time on a tech channel that I created called AppFind. And it ended up becoming pretty successful. I saw at that younger age the power of YouTube and the power of being able to share value with people. You can see here one of my more popular videos, over 8 million views. That's one of the things, is a cool fun fact is at one point when you search the term iPhone tutorial, I was the top video, and that's how this video did so well. And so that led to so many of these different mobile apps reaching out and saying, hey, we'd love to sponsor your channel. We want to feature our app on your channel. So we work with a lot of top apps. And one day, one of those apps said, hey, how can I get more people to see this video you made about this mobile app? And they originally wanted me just to post the video again the next day, but I had to tell them, right, it doesn't work like that. You can't just post the exact same thing unless, maybe Camilla and some of the others could share. You probably can post the same thing the next day. But anyways, at that time, that was not the case. And so I said, what if we take this and we run it as an ad? And I decided to go and run it as a YouTube ad, generate thousands of users for their app. They gave me an offer. They thought I couldn't refuse, drop out of college, fly out to Silicon Valley, join our team. I turned it down, and that's when I created AdOutreach, and that's when we've had that success. But again, this isn't about me. This is about you, and I want to show you where to go and where to dig to get that sweet YouTube treasure. So again, basically 10 years on YouTube ads, 16 years on YouTube. I want to show you where to dig to get that YouTube treasure. So I want to show you exactly how this works. We're going to dive into targeting coming up next. But first, we got to talk about how to craft an irresistible YouTube ad script. Now, what we found is the biggest mistake that entrepreneurs and marketers make is when they're creating YouTube ads is providing no real value. Nobody likes to receive an empty box. You'd be so confused if you go to your doorstep, you open a box, it's empty. You're like, what's going on? Somebody made a mistake here. And that's because it doesn't make sense. You don't want to open something or spend your time on something that doesn't have value. It's the same thing with ads. Why do we tune out ads so much? It's because we're constantly bombarded with ads and most of them don't have any value. We're trained from a young age to avoid ads that don't have value. And so what if we could do something different? We could actually provide value in our ads. Now, people are on YouTube for one of two reasons. They're either there to be entertained or they're there to learn. And we want to tap into those people that are there to learn. And we want to do something that creates an ad that appeals to the learner's mindset. We've all been there. We go on YouTube, we're looking to learn something, and we can get in front of them at that perfect moment. That's the key. And so we call this the value ad, a video ad that provides genuine value and incites action. There are three main components here. There's a hook that draws people in. There's the educate, where you're providing real, genuine value. And finally, there's the call to action to get people into your funnel and to sign up for your webinar and to get people to watch more of your content so that you actually ultimately will be able to convert. So let's break that down. The first step is the hook. Now I want you to think about your ideal audience or ideal clients, kind of like this goldfish over here. Goldfish notoriously have a 6-second attention span. Well, that's about how long you have before people can skip your ad. And so you want to capture their attention in those first few seconds and prime them for the rest of the ad. Why should they watch your ad? What value are you going to provide? Next, you want to have golden nuggets. This is where you're providing true, genuine value inside of that ad so that you can make sure that you're actually giving them value and they're going to be more likely to trust you, right? You're building the know, like, and trust within the ad. And finally, you've got a call to action. This is a simple way for the viewer to take action and opt into the rest of your funnel. So it's that hook, educate, call to action. And if you want to know how to actually craft or create this, you can think about it like the classic cliche elevator pitch. Imagine you're in the elevator with your ideal client and you realize, wait a second, this is my perfect ideal client. Well, what would you say to that ideal client? You wouldn't say, hey, go buy my thing, or hey, go sign up for my webinar. They wouldn't know what value they're going to get. You need to hook them, right? What's the first thing that you would say to them? So you would say something to capture their attention, right? So one thing we'll talk about later, and here's a hook. Did you know you can ethically hijack your competitors' traffic on YouTube and send it into your own funnel? You're like, what? And if they're running funnels and if they are interested in, getting traffic, they're going to be curious about that. And then what can you teach them in minutes that demonstrate expertise, right? So how can you provide some value in minutes? So in that case, I can share there's something called a URL affinity audience. And these URL audiences allow you to target people on YouTube based on actual websites they're going to. And the reason Google can do that is because Google owns Google Analytics. They're tracking all the data, Google search, they're seeing all the data, and you can actually target people going to your competitor sites or complementary sites. That's going to provide value. People are going to say, wait a second, that's a high value ad. I didn't even know you could do that. And then finally, what's your online call to action? So I've actually got the webinar on Webinar Kit, where you can go and watch this webinar and learn, how you can use the power of YouTube ads, right? And so you can send people to your Webinar Kit webinar or whatever it happens to be that you're promoting. And there you go, mission accomplished, right? And so if you think about your ads kind of like an elevator pitch, that's going to be a great, great opportunity for you to be able to know how to craft a winning ad, the hook, educate, call to action. Now, one of the biggest misconceptions that people have is you need all this fancy equipment, but you actually don't need fancy equipment. In fact, one of the things that we found is that fancy equipment can actually take away from your message because it feels less authentic. Actually, you saw earlier all the people seeing the best success. What was one thing that was a common theme with all of them? They were posting authentically, right? And so we saw Austin, talking earlier, right, about some of his posts that he's doing, and he's just being himself. And that is what's drawing people to him. And then we saw, Camilla, talk about some of the things that she's sharing about her journey and her experience. That's authentic. And then, Hernan, when he came up here earlier, he was talking about how even if these ads aren't super polished, right, they still actually convert. Sometimes those simple ads convert better. It's the same thing with your videos. People think, oh, it's a video, I need this to be super polished. But that's not actually the case. You just need to be seen as an authentic authority, being yourself, but also being an authority in your in your expertise, I mean to say. And so you can do this even with an iPhone and a gimbal. It's becoming easier and easier to create that content. Now, some of you might be saying, all right, Aleric, this is easy for you to say. Clearly, you're up here standing on stage. You love doing videos. But that actually wasn't always the case. When I had that tech review channel, I started that 16 years ago, but you could hear my voice, but you couldn't see my face. And that's because I was self-conscious with how I looked. 8 years ago, I was about 50 pounds heavier than I am today. I just wasn't really confident in myself, the way I was showing up. My hair is kind of like, anyways, I just had all of these things that I was self-conscious about. And I remember when it was time for me to film one of my first YouTube ads for myself, because I had been doing it for clients like a lot of people, right? You start off with that. And I said, all right, I got to film an ad for myself, following my framework, practice what I preach. This was 8 years ago. And I filmed this ad and I almost deleted it because I watched it back and I was saying the right things, but I didn't, I was kind of embarrassed with how I looked. I didn't want to get my face out there on camera. And I ended up publishing the video anyways. And I am so glad that I did, because I ended up running this ad, and this was the first ad to make me over $1 million in my business, this ad. So, well, thank you. Thank you. And so the lesson here is it doesn't matter who you are, what you look like, what you sound like. All that matters is that you are authentic and that you're yourself, because your ideal audience is going to be drawn to that and who you truly are. And so that's how you create that irresistible ad and how you have that confidence to show up on camera. So now you've got a great ad, and again, it doesn't have to be perfect, right? But you've got a good ad of following these strategies. Now, how do you actually target? How do you actually reach the right people with your ad? Well, we're going to start with the basics, then we're going to get a little bit more advanced because there's some exciting things that you can do. So starting with the basics though, you can of course target locations, right? So, United States or specific regions, but you could even target a radius around a street address. I was talking with somebody earlier about local YouTube ads. And I know a lot of people here are doing more webinars, so more national, but you could even do local ads. You can see you could target a street address around a radius around a street address. But then you have the ability to also target specific devices. Now, this is something that's really valuable, especially if you're running, evergreen webinars on Webinar Kit, or even just webinars in general. I would really recommend excluding TV screens. TV screens is one of the fastest growing, audiences on YouTube, which is really exciting. It's amazing for YouTube and it's amazing for your organic content. We've just found with ads, it's not going to convert as much. If you turn off TV screens, that's an automatic 5 to 10% lift in your conversions is what we've typically found. And this is on by default, by the way. So you have to, go into the settings and customize that. So by the way, this is some people, taking some pictures. You send this back and you do this can save you a few percentage points on your ads, which really add up. And so that's one thing to do. Then when it comes to demographic and household income targeting, this is another one that a lot of people miss. You can do this on YouTube. So of course, gender, age, parental status, that's going to depend on your market and where you're at. But let's take a look over here at household income. It's kind of cut off a little bit in the slide here, but you can see you have the ability to target people based on their likely household income bracket. And this is different than, zip code income targeting. They might be familiar with other platforms. This is actually based on what Google believes is their real household income. Now, it's not perfect, but it does a pretty good job, especially of getting people in this top bracket area. The big thing that I would do, similar to that last change I told you about TV screens, is unless you're selling something under $100, and that's like the top thing. Again, I'm not talking a low ticket. You don't want somebody that just buys your low ticket but can't buy your high ticket. You should exclude lower 50%. The lower 50% income in America has less than $1,000 in their bank account. Now, obviously, I don't think it should be that way. We want to promote financial literacy. We want to help those people. I create YouTube content I hope those people find and watch. But when I'm running ads and I got my money on the line, I want to reach people that I can serve, that actually have the ability to invest in the services that I have. And so I'd recommend removing lower 50%. If you sell high ticket in the thousands of dollars or above, I remove the 31 to 50%. We've got a lot of data to back this up. And I would go to that top 30% and then maybe even narrow it in depending on where your audience is. Just those two changes, by the way, can make a massive difference to your ads without even changing some of the other things we're going to talk about. And so now we're going to talk about audience targeting. This is where we can actually target your ideal audience with YouTube ads. Now, I know many of you raised your hands earlier who are already doing Meta ads, so you may or may not be familiar with YouTube ads and some of the ways that you could target. It's a little bit different. So there are three main audience types, and then we're going to break these down. There's Google's pre-made audiences. These are audiences that Google has already created. Then you have your own data and retargeting. So this is retargeting people that are already interacting with you, whether your website or YouTube channel. And then you have custom audiences. This is where it gets really exciting. And this is what really no other platform is able to do anything like this, building your own audiences and training the AI on who you're looking to reach. And so Google's pre-made audiences, let's dive into that. These are some of the audiences that are already built. There's four types here. There's in-market segments, so people who are in the market to buy something. There's affinity segments, people that are interested in something. There's a life event, so specific events that are happening in that person's life. And then finally, there's detailed demographics. So we'll explain more about that in a second, but it's essentially a little bit more demographic data that Google happens to have about each person. By the way, if you're wondering why I'm using Google and YouTube interchangeably, most of you know in this room, but Google owns YouTube. And so your YouTube ads are going to be run from the Google Ads platform. And so in-market audiences, you can take a look here. I can target people in the market for marketing and advertising services. You can target people in the market for education, for financial services, gifts and occasions. They all have drop downs, and Google knows what people are likely in the market for. This, by the way, is going to be similar to Facebook interest targeting. That said, these skew more in-market intent-based. So it's more about what the user has done recently. What searches have they done? What have they recently done versus who they are, which is more the interest audiences on a platform like Meta, right? So again, Meta is more of a social interest platform, and Google and YouTube is a little bit more of an intent-based platform. What are they searching for now? Again, there's benefits to both platforms, but there's a lot of opportunity on YouTube with the intent base. So you can see here, people are who are in the market for fitness services, fitness programs, personal fitness programs, workout videos. If you have a personal fitness or fitness training offer, you could get people who are in the market for these things and reach them at the perfect time. Now, there's also affinity segments. These are going to be more broader audiences. I really don't recommend these as much for those of you who are in this room because these are very broad, like mobile enthusiasts, tech enthusiasts, travel interests. There's kind of a general business audience. This is probably better if you're looking for just a mass market, lower cost leads. For most of you in the room, this is not what I would recommend. I'd recommend more in-market style audiences or the custom audiences we'll talk about later. But you can see here as an example, avid investors, banking and finance, business professionals, you can reach that wider array of people that Google has. There's also life events. So somebody who's created a business or starting a business soon, right? There's people who spoke who talk about and help people launch a business or launch a front-end product. Well, there's great opportunities there. People who have a new pet, people who are purchasing a new home. There's a lot of opportunity to reach people based on these life events. And remember, who knows better than Google that these things are happening? Google knows because of what you're searching for. So for instance, there's a retiring soon area, and we had a financial advisor that specialized in late stage financial planning for people who are retiring soon. Perfect opportunity to reach them with their ad with that audience. There's also detailed demographics. So parents of kids of a certain age. So we had a client that did SAT prep services, and they're selling to parents of kids 13 to 17. So we can target parents of kids 13 to 17, and we can actually reach the right people. Again, how does Google know this? It's because of all the data that they're collecting. They're putting all this together. They know with pretty good accuracy who these people are, and then we can target them with those ads. Now, you also have your data. This is where it starts to get even more exciting because there's opportunities to retarget people, website visitors, app users, YouTube users, customer lists. If you don't really take anything else away, I would definitely make sure you start retargeting on YouTube because not only is YouTube a great place to get additional conversions, but people have to watch the first 5 seconds of your ad. It is free branding with those ads, the in-stream ads. In-feed's a little bit different. They'll see it pop up. But the in-stream ads, they have to watch those first few seconds. So there's an opportunity to get in front of them at that right time. So there's a lot of opportunity to reach people with those ads. So if you have a YouTube channel, you're sitting on a gold mine because you can retarget all of those people with your ads. It's a massive, massive opportunity. By the way, some people ask, do you need a YouTube channel to see success with YouTube ads? No. We have plenty of clients. They don't want to post videos. They just have a couple videos on their channel. They're unlisted in their ads. That's fine. But if you do have a channel, it really does amplify things because what you can do is you can retarget all the people who have subscribed to your channel in a certain period of time. All the people that subscribed in the last 90 days. You can even target people who have liked your videos. Anybody who's liked your videos in the last 90 days. By the way, if you have a YouTube channel and a Google Ads account, I would recommend going in now and setting up these audiences because they only go back 30 days. So you can build these audience buckets. You can build them up to 540 days. They'll backfill 30 days. And I'd recommend building these even if you're not ready to launch today so you can start building those buckets that you can retarget people on. Now, let's get into custom audiences. This is where it gets even more exciting because you can actually train YouTube and Google's AI on who you're looking to reach. We call this the alpha AI targeting strategy. And this is the secret behind those hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue we've helped our clients generate and our own explosive growth. Now, in the world of the stock market, there's this concept called seeking alpha, seeking returns that are better than the average, right? So you can see here, alpha returns, they're exponential, beta returns, they're more linear. We are looking for those alpha exponential returns. And so we have an opportunity to learn from what they learned on Wall Street, right? Soon, algorithms took over the stock market. So one day it was, people just trading against each other. Later, algorithms took over the market. But what happened? Essentially, you were playing, kind of chess with a robot. You had an opportunity, you had an unfair advantage, but then everybody had access to the same robots, right? And so it became a stalemate, like two robots playing chess against each other. The same thing is happening in the world of advertising. If you just use Google's pre-built audiences, same thing goes for really any platform, then you don't have as much of an advantage or opportunity. That's why you hear other people talk about the importance of creatives, which is incredibly important. And what if you could have an opportunity for increased results, not just on the creative, but also on the targeting? Well, you can't necessarily have that if you're using the same audience everybody else is. If I was just using in the market for marketing and advertising, every other marketing consultant and advertising company or agency is using that same targeting option. I need to build my own. And so what I can do is use the strategy that they learned in the world of Wall Street, which is quants, right? Quantitative analysts. Their whole job is to train the algorithm on a strategy, a human strategy that's going to work the best. So training the algorithm, and that is the concept of seeking alpha on Wall Street. We do the same thing on YouTube. We achieve alpha results by training the AI, teaching Google's algorithm who we're looking to reach. It's a combination of a human and AI strategy, training Google's AI to achieve alpha results. So what does this actually look like? You can build your own audiences. If you haven't done this before, this is really exciting. You have an opportunity to go inside of Google and YouTube to actually build audiences based on who you're looking to reach. So you can target people, again, for the fitness coaching example, people who are in the market for weight loss, losing weight loss programs, fitness coaching, nutrition coach. You can target people that are interested in these things with your own keywords. These are custom keywords. You get to type in what you want to train the algorithm on. Now, this is using YouTube's data and their AI combined with your human knowledge of who your ideal client potentially is. Now, you can also target based on Google and YouTube searches. And this is called a custom intent audience. Now, note that this isn't just people who are searching these things on YouTube. This is YouTube or Google. And so if they're Googling how to save for retirement, or they're searching on YouTube, retirement planning or best ways to invest money, you can get your ads in front of the people that have recently done that YouTube or Google search. And so that's a massive opportunity because Google is the largest search engine. What's the second largest search engine? It's YouTube. And so you have an opportunity to target people based on what they're actually searching right now. There's also app audiences. So app audiences is going to allow you to target people based on mobile apps that they have installed on their phone. So if they have these particular apps, we know this might be a good audience. And This is the one I teased earlier. People love this, is the ability to target competitors' sites. So you can actually target people who are going to your competitors' websites. Imagine that. You can add in URLs in what's called a custom URL affinity audience. So you can essentially say, I want to target people who browse these sites or similar sites, and then put these in. So you can see here, these Weight Watchers, Noom, Jenny Craig, they go to these sites for that same fitness example we're using. We can target people that have gone to these websites. You can do this for competitors, but you can also do this for complementary tools as well. So people that happen to be using tools that your industry frequently uses. It's really, really powerful strategy. But then I asked myself, well, what if I could create my own AI algorithm to identify and build the best audience segments? That's something that I did with keywordsearch.com. Basically, it allows you to go in and target, okay, here are some people based on audience interest, what they're searching for, and then sync these campaigns over to Google. By the way, for everybody here, if you use the code free month, you can get a whole month for free, no strings attached, just for coming out to this event. But yeah, you got it. And so you can see here, basically you can find all the things that they're searching for, and then say, oh, if they're searching for how to advertise on YouTube, all these different things, you can actually target those on YouTube with your ads. And so you can see here all these audience interests, it'll grab them, and you can sync them directly to Google Ads. So there's a lot of opportunities to use AI and leverage AI to reach the right people. And I also, have another AI tool, Thumbnail Creator as well, that creates AI-generated YouTube thumbnails that you can use for those YouTube videos. As Thumbnail Creator allows you to go in, just paste the URL of the YouTube video, it will understand and scan the whole video. And then from that, you can actually create an AI-generated YouTube thumbnail with your face. And also, you can use code free month for an entire month for free. Again, no strings attached there, just for coming out to this event, supporting, Stefan here and everybody, a webinar kit, which is awesome. It's free month. Yeah, just free month. But those are a couple AI tools that you can use in order to reach the right people with your YouTube ads and make those stand out from the crowd. Now, a lot of people ask me, all right, YouTube versus Facebook, having some conversations with Laurel and Hernan and some of these other people, and we almost got into a fight. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Actually, there's so much opportunity between Facebook and YouTube. And so I used to talk a lot about YouTube versus Facebook. We talk about mindless scrolling, but here's the thing. There's a lot of people, Austin talked about this earlier, mindlessly scrolling and clicking on ads. So there's a lot of opportunity on Facebook, but the way that you reach them is different, right? You have to have more interrupts. You have to have more of those different creatives, constant creative. On YouTube, people are looking to learn. They have intent. And so you have an opportunity to use both Facebook for what it does great and YouTube for what it does great as well, targeting people when they have intent, when they're on YouTube, and reach them with that YouTube ad that is designed to reach and target those ideal clients. Now, Google, right? Who are we dealing with here? Think of all the data that Google has. Google has Google search, right? People are searching on Google. People are searching on YouTube, the second largest search engine. They also have all the content you've ever watched and how long you've watched it on YouTube. Gmail, there's a reason Gmail is free. It costs Google billions of dollars every single year to keep Gmail free. Think of all the data that they're collecting. Google Analytics. Did you know that Google Analytics is installed on 52.6% of all websites online? That means more than half of every website has Google Analytics. So if you're wondering how you can do a URL custom audience, they have all the data. And so you have that ability to target people based on that. And this is, Google Analytics up here. I bet you can guess what's down here. Yes, that's Facebook. We'll see if there's scientific proof of Facebook having a little bit more here. You'll be the judge of that. But anyways, jokes aside, there's so much opportunity both on Facebook and YouTube. And that's also one of the things I talk about now is omnipresent retargeting, right? So I have to make these little jokes because so many people use Facebook, but so many people aren't using YouTube. And there's so much opportunity for you on YouTube to tap into a blue ocean, to tap into the people that are looking for exactly what you do, reaching them at the right time. So you can see it right here. So you can see the 19-page YouTube ad strategy PDF. You can go to adoutreach.com/gift or scan this QR code. It's going to walk you through step by step. The full 19 pages is going to show you all the things that we talked about broken down. There's also a video training you'll get access to as well. So I'll give you a few seconds to scan that QR code or take a picture here. And then we'll move on to the next slide. I got a few other things that I'll give away to you. I want to give as much resources as possible. I'll wait for those cameras to go down. But again, this is the 19-page YouTube ad strategy PDF. It'll walk you through how to build these audiences, set these up for yourself, and how to craft those scripts. Now, one of the other things that we're seeing a lot of success with is AI, viral AI ad hooks. And so I want to talk a little bit about this, and we got a resource on this as well. So I don't know how I get the mouse over there to play this. All right, we'll get this pulled up here, but there's a lot of opportunities with viral AI ad hooks. Now, what we have learned is that these viral AI ad hooks allow you to capture attention of your ideal audience. So just like Hernan was talking about earlier with creating a lot of different image creatives, imagine if you could have the same effect with the video creatives as well. Well, that's what you can do by creating different AI ad hooks, which are the first part of your video. So I'm going to show you an example of what this looks like, and then I'll talk about how you can create some of these yourself. There's some viral AI ad hooks where essentially, I'll just describe it. It's me as a king saying, I declare that YouTube ads are the future and that you should start using them in your advertising, something like that. And then there's also one of me as a medieval king walking down a street. It's like, if you're not using YouTube advertising, you're practically living in medieval times, right? There's another one of me as an astronaut, where I basically say, do you want to skyrocket your ads? YouTube ads is the place to go, to skyrocket results, along those lines, right? And so that's designed to capture attention at that perfect moment and create those viral AI ads that pull people in. But again, that's only the first few seconds. What we've learned is the first 8 seconds being an AI hook and then cutting to your ad. So something that you can test is take your best performing creatives, the hook, educate, call to action, this talking head style, and then just put an AI ad right at the beginning of that, and that's going to work really well. The way you could do that is by using Google VO3, which is inside of Google Flow. So Google Flow is a tool you can use to use VO3 to create these AI animated videos. You can get a taste of what I was going to show you in that video just by looking at all of this, right? And so you have all of that. I actually have a resource that I will be sending out to those of you that that are able to grab the gift, which is a recording of our live AI workshop. We've actually sold this in the past. We're going to be giving that to you as well. And so all of this, these replays and all of that, will include that for you when you go and scan that QR code. You'll get the viral AI ads workshop replay. And then here is I have another gift for you as well. I've got a few gifts. I also have something that we do now is a free done for you YouTube ad script, and then also, a strategy call. And so if you scan that QR code, you have an opportunity to grab a free YouTube ad script, and then we'll deliver it to you on a call. And so this is a great opportunity for you as well. Basically what we've done is we've taken all the data from the hundreds and hundreds of YouTube ad scripts. Well, we've created thousands of scripts, but our hundreds of top YouTube ad scripts, about 400, and I think 30 of them. And we have trained, we actually spent like $20,000 training a custom model where we were doing, anyways, we don't need to get into all that. But basically training it on the best way to create these. And we'll actually be able to craft those scripts for you using our best strategies of exactly what works the best and hand that to you on a silver platter for free. And so this is the YouTube ad strategy, the PDF, and then also the script. You can go ahead and grab that. And I have one final thing to share in terms of a resource, which I mentioned earlier, but I've got the QR code for it. Anyways, okay, so the thumbnailcreator.com, I thought I'd put that on there, but we'll have these couple of QR slides here. But we also have thumbnailcreator.com. That's the software, the AI YouTube thumbnail creation software. You can use code FREEMONTH to check that out as well. You just paste in a YouTube URL, it'll scan that video, and then allow you to craft a YouTube thumbnail that you could use specific for those videos. And then finally, of course, got the hook on Amazon, Video Authority on Amazon. We released it last week, and we've got it priced as low as possible, just 99 cents on ebook. So you can check that out. Thank you so much, everybody. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Oh yeah, questions.
Questions?
Okay,
Yeah.
However much time we have to do questions.
Probably can do like 2 or 3.
Perfect.
When you said create your custom audiences, if you haven't done it, go do it. And you said it only goes back 30 days, but I saw on your screen it said 90 days or whatever your screen. Where do you do that? Is it within the Google Ads Manager?
So yeah, great question. It's inside of the Google Ads Manager and it's inside of your audiences. And then you can create a new audience segment based on data. I've got a YouTube video on my YouTube channel that kind of covers it. If you just look up like my name and then YouTube retargeting. It also, I think we talk about it in the PDF as well. The PDF's more on like traditional ads. But your other question is the 30 days versus 90 days. So it will only go back retroactively 30 days. So if you set it up today, it'll go back 30 days of filling data, but you can go out up to 540 days. So actually my recommendation to everybody is to set up 540-day audiences, 90-day audiences, and 30-day audiences. And it will pre-fill the last 30 days. And then as it goes into the future, it will start filling the next 60, 90, 540 days. Does that make sense? Like,
yeah.
It'll only go backwards 30 days, but once you set it up, it's like a bucket that will start collecting people.
And that's within the campaign, not the account itself.
So it's within the account. So it's within the account.
Okay.
And then you go to the audience, you go to the audience manager in the account, you'd add a new audience, you'd sync your YouTube channel if you didn't already. That's a pretty simple process. You basically just add the YouTube channel URL. It will send a request to the channel if it's a different email. And then you just create an audience with that length of time. I have a video completely free on my YouTube channel that covers how to do that. If you just look up YouTube retargeting and then my name, you'll be able to find it.
Thank you.
You got it.
Great presentation today, man.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask, because I was taught here recently that you can use YouTube kind of as your top of funnel, and seeing how that aligned with what Laura was talking about yesterday was like really focusing on building your brand. Is there a way, and if so, do you recommend using YouTube ads specifically for the for building awareness around your channel versus looking for conversions? Because I find that my conversions are cheaper on Facebook, but if I could use a portion of my ad budget specifically to bring brand awareness around what I do, it'll get people more indoctrinated, getting more time, and then retarget them on Facebook. Is there a way to do that? And if so, do you even recommend that?
So great question. And there's two answers to that. The first answer is what you're asking, which is there an opportunity to go and target people to build up your brand on YouTube, get more people to come in? Absolutely. There's a big opportunity with that. You can use in-feed ads for that as well. And you can actually do even cost per view in-feed ads that aren't even the demand gen ones. So those will usually be about a fifth the cost of those more traditional ads. So you have an opportunity to do that to pull people in, and then you can actually build retargeting buckets, not just off platform, but even on YouTube. So you could basically pull people in per view to your existing content and then retarget anybody that's seen your content with an ad. The second thing that I would say though is, well, you may have an opportunity to change how you're running those YouTube ads using some of the strategies here, the PDF and everything, because you should be able to get on par results. We see a lot of clients that get better results. It just depends. But what I would recommend is take a look at some of these resources and test out YouTube ads using this as well.
For sure. Definitely. Thank you.
Yeah, you got it.
Hey, appreciate you going in depth on YouTube ads, just because I've never seen I've only done Instagram, Facebook. My question is there a way, because there's like the Facebook ad library, is there a way to see like good YouTube ads that have like performed well or like model them or anything like that you recommend?
Yeah, great question. So Google has their own. It's a little harder to navigate. If you look up Google ad transparency, you can see theirs as well. But we also have inside a keyword search an AI, like a YouTube ad library of some of the top ads that we found as well. So yeah,
Appreciate it.
and that code again for keyword search and thumbnail creator is free month. It's a full month for free. Yeah.
Awesome job as always, brother.
Thank you.
Kind of piggybacking on that gentleman's question just 2 questions ago about using YouTube ads to grow your actual channel. What are your thoughts on that boost functionality inside YouTube Creator Studio itself, whether for views or growing your subscribers versus doing it through Google Ad Platform?
Yeah, great question. So what we found is that on the Google Ads platform, it's going to perform better because you have more robust targeting options. So now they have added in the promote tab, an additional feature, an additional setting, a dropdown, you may have seen this, where you can now add an in-market audience. So that's better than not having any targeting. In the past, my blanket recommendation was just not to use it. And the reason for that is because they didn't even have that dropdown of being able to target people in the market for something. It was just broad United States, they speak English and like these age ranges, and that's it. And it just wasn't as good. Now with the in-market targeting, we're seeing it's getting a little bit better, but still it's not as robust as what you can do on the ad platform. So I'd highly recommend, especially for you, right? And for people who are running like more significant ads, to go in and build this out inside of the Google Ads platform, because you can even do household income targeting, right? So you can remove the lower 50%. You can, you can not have TV screens, because it's gonna add TV screens to that by default. So there's these things that you don't have access to that is costing you money by doing on promote. That said, again, like it's better than not doing anything. And they're making it a little bit better, but I'd recommend, especially for everybody in this room, like to do the in-feed ads. So great question. And I've got a training on YouTube that talks about how to do that.
What about special ad categories? Like because I'm in lending and Facebook does not allow for that.
Yeah, so great question. So they do have special ad categories. As long as you're complying with the different regulations, then you have the ability to run ads overall. In terms of some of the targeting options, like household income, you can't do things like that as lending and stuff like that, unfortunately, just because of the equal housing lending things. Because we have clients that are in real estate or in, and we've had, clients in mortgage and insurance and things where they're more regulated industries. And when we have that, we just make sure that they're not doing some of the targeting that they can't do, but you can still run YouTube ads for sure.
So is it available and you just got to know not to check certain targeting?
Yeah, and also Google will flag it if it thinks that you're in one of those categories. So even though you might be able to start running it, if they catch it, and they now have better AI, so I wouldn't recommend trying to do anything like that. So yeah, that makes sense. Oh yeah, so it's keywordsearch.com, and the other one's thumbnail. Yeah, keywordsearch.com. and thumbnailcreator.com, and code free month.
Hey, Alec, great presentation. Thank you so much. I have a two-part question because you went over custom audiences. The first part is how many leads or how much information do you need in order to start doing your custom audience in YouTube? And then the other part is I hear conflicting stories or conflicting experience on how much daily spend you should have in order to maximize your results. So for example, in Facebook, your awareness, it's the cheaper campaign. What is your perspective on either of those?
Great question. And I can give you an exact answer on that side of things, and then also talk about, kind of the first part of your question as well. So in terms of the spend, what we found with demand gen campaigns is you want to have at least $25 a day, but the recommended is $50 a day on those ad campaigns. And this is for more lead gen style ads. I'm talking more about the types of things that we're doing in here, driving webinar signups, driving those things. Now, obviously, if you have a higher budget, that's great, but you don't have to. Some people say, okay, well, Google will tell you need to have like $100 or $200 a day on a campaign. In practice, we have not seen that to be true. But what we have seen is under $25, it does deprecate it. So I would recommend $50 a day, the minimum would be $25 per campaign for demand gen, which are the ads that are designed to drive direct conversions. On the other side, with in-feed ads, these are the ones that you run as cost per view. So more cost per view style in-feed ads to promote your channel. Those you could run as little as $5 to $10 a day because you're paying per view. You're not optimizing for conversions. So the other side, you need to have the ability to get some conversions for it to be able to start optimizing properly, which is why you need that $25 to $50 a day in spend to start. And then on the in-feed ads, your cost per view optimized, you could start as $5 to $10 a day on those campaigns. And there's also two different types of custom audiences. So I talk more about like retargeting customer lists, which is what you're referring to. Now also Google does have some restrictions for when you can upload those lists. That's the one thing that Google's a little more strict on, where Facebook seems to be more strict on creative sometimes and running into issues there. YouTube's a little less strict on that. What YouTube and Google is more strict on is data controls. So uploading lists. So they want you to be a verified advertiser first and have a certain degree of spend. Now you can start from the beginning retargeting people going to your website or your YouTube channel. But in terms of uploading a list, they do want to see a certain amount of spend, and then they want the list size to be over 1,000 people. So that should answer that question. Cool.
So I've been using Google Analytics for like 18 years, so I can relate. I've been pounded on my affiliate YouTube for 16 months, but a unique thing happened in November, and my husband decided he wanted to have a YouTube channel. And what happened in 26 days is he had 100,000 views. And he was sharing his fitness story. So obviously there's already a warm audience there. He owns an auto repair shop that I automated like 10 years ago. And then I pulled him into affiliate marketing about 4 years ago. So I'm like, come on. So what would your suggestion be with his account's like brand new?
Yeah.
But I'm like, okay, that's not fair. Okay. Because but I'm happy because I'm the one that helped grow the channel. So what would you do with that? Because his venture is tied to another affiliate products.
Yeah.
Like supplements and that. So where would you start with that? Because I already have some of the data.
Yeah. So that's a great question, and congratulations for that growth. That's exciting. So that's it. You work together on that. And so what I recommend is for retargeting, I build up those audience buckets. Again, like on it's one of the emails that we send, but you don't have to wait for those email. Like for the retargeting training, if you just look up my name, Aleric, and then YouTube retargeting, you can see the video on YouTube that will cover how to set up those buckets for YouTube for retargeting people watching the YouTube videos. I'd recommend doing that now, even if you don't know all the things you're going to build it for. Yeah, set up a 540-day. I talked about it in the video, but set up a 540-day audience so that you're starting to fill up that bucket. So when you're ready to retarget all those people that have watched that, people who viewed the video, people who liked the video, and people who subscribed to the channel, right? So those are the things to do. And then in terms of like how you're going to monetize that from a business standpoint, that's not, my main area to answer.
No.
Okay.
I just meant the average, like, where would you, like, because I take in a lot of information and I just go and implement.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah.
So I would recommend building the retargeting audiences and then finding something that's related to what he got that success in. And creating, if there's affiliate marketing, you can find an affiliate offer kind of related to that and essentially run ads to that warm audience.
Being a strategic visionary, I see a hybrid. Like, obviously, it's going to be the supplements, but since he's pulling in a male audience already, I'm like, oh, well, High Level has a bunch of fitness templates, so that's where I can go in and go collect my 40%.
Yeah, and there's always ways exactly to take, to be able to spin something to something else. So a lot of opportunities there.